Hello, everyone. Good evening. We are coming to you live here on a Sunday night, trying something a little different. All of our live sessions in the past have been side by side on the same camera. Tonight, we're going to give it a go from our separate offices. Rest assured, my lovely wife is literally like 15 feet away from me. So, let me turn myself off on YouTube so I don't have to hear myself. Um, Okay, so we have a theme tonight. Now, we didn't advertise that well because we just kind of, ironically, kind of suck at social media. But we do have a theme tonight, and I did kind of a wacky, like marker board brainstorming. You can't see it because the marker board is like over there. But I did a marker board brainstorming session today, and Sue was witness to that. And uh, I just kind of went through a bunch of different things as far as like all of the stuff that we want to talk about here today. And the common thread between all of it, everything that we're doing, is it's not about you. And so that's the theme here today, is that it's not about, and the you in this case is us. It's not about us. And so a lot of different things tie in with that, and we'll get into that eventually. But the first thing, and the one thing that I want to talk about before I cut it over to my lovely wife, is her book. So she published her book this week, and that is amazing. And I'm super proud of her. The one thing that I wanted to get across about that book is that book is not a Sue Bellamy autobiography. It is 100% a how-to guide for women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s on how to live a healthy life and how to live a healthy life without killing yourself. And so we made the book about everyone else, even though it is based on Sue's story. So with that, lovely wife, would you like to take it away and talk about your book?
Sure.
All right.
So I'm so excited that you're all here joining us on Sunday evening, probably your dinner time, or you're getting your kids ready for the next day, or you're getting yourself ready for the next day. But I've been waiting to share with you guys for some time now um, about my book. And for those that don't know, but most of you probably do know, 15 years ago I had gastric sleeve surgery. And that was just really the beginning of my journey. And sure, it was easy to lose the weight, but the real story is after you lose the weight, how do you keep it off? And so I, over the years, Al and I have dipped around in different eating patterns, exercises, joining classes here or there, different types of classes, running races. So over the years, everything has transpired into simple, realistic ways to, or strategies, I should say, to maintain your weight loss. Whether you had surgery or you're just trying to lose weight or you're just trying to stay fit in general. So I wrote Keep It Off because I wanted to know what it felt like to lose weight without being terrified of losing or gaining it back. And after my gastric sleeve surgery, I was determined to maintain the transformation. It wasn't easy. I've had my ups and downs. Um, my mom passed away and I had gained significant weight back. So I had to reinvent and re-challenge myself to lose that weight again. And basically, for the last 15 years, it's just been no gimmicks, no extreme diets, um, just learning how to eat better and healthier. And the main thing is mindset. And I believe mindset is the most important victory here for me. And so I wrote the book, and it's not just about me. I feel like it can help others that are going through the same issues that I had. And in the book, there's chapters where you have to do a little homework, um, basically to some quick exercises to kind of reflect on yourself and create your own roadmap to weight loss transformation. I felt like this book was great for women over 40. But honestly, anyone could read the book, and people that are struggling, it could be really helpful to them. Uh, what took me 15 years, you can learn in my 125 page paperback book, some great ideas to help you along. So, and also, you just don't have to do it on your own. You can learn how to have a community of support. So I hope you take the time to order the book, read it, tell me what you think, and we can go from there. Back to you.
Okay, so point of parliamentary procedure here. Because of the goofy way we had to set this thing up, give me 1 second. The reason I cut out there for a second was I was trying to get some sort of hookup for Facebook Live. So if you want to, as I'm talking, maybe if you can go check on my Facebook and see if it's actually working. I tried to set it up to share my screen, but long story short, none of that you just said went on Facebook. So unless I'm totally off base here, but anyway, it is getting recorded onto YouTube. We could put it onto Facebook, I suppose. But anyway, we'll have to refine our fumbling tech game here in a little bit. But yeah, if you go to my Facebook, see if it's posting live. I was trying to share the screen and post that out. It may not have sound. We'll see. Anyway, but let me know what that looks like. So anyway, yeah, the book game is going strong. I have my long-awaited book about writing resumes has been kind of in rounds of editing, final editing, draft. That one is fully kind of oriented towards the listener, and so we're getting that ready to put out. So my kind of major hear the dog scratching at the door over there. Sue's upstairs. She's got the doors closed, and our dogs are displeased with that. However, I turned off the washer and dryer, so she shouldn't have to have the door closed. So I completed the second cohort of the Data Career Academy. Great success. Everyone was quite excited about it. See, Steve likes my event. Okay, that's good. Now, it was a tremendous success. I had a lot of wins. I had a lot of, me being me, there were kind of plenty of things that I really wanted to do better. And, but we did want to get reps in as quickly as possible on teaching that course. And the reason why is because that's going to become an e-course. And so we're going to use the lessons learned with that and get that out there for people to learn from. Again, continuing on the theme of it's not about you, i.e. it's not about me. I had to learn quite quickly that, I like to talk, and I would talk quite a bit. Sue's smiling because she had to kind of give me frantic hand-arm signals and be like, hey, you're over talking, shut the heck up. And so you might see it on this production here as well. But she, she was kind of curbing my enthusiasm on the first cohort and trying to get me to dial it back a little bit on the storytelling. The second cohort, I felt like I did better. We did have a couple of people that saw both, so maybe they can tell me whether I did or I didn't. But I focused more on, if I'm telling stories, am I telling stories for me or am I telling stories for my audience? And if I'm telling a story for my audience, is that story actually going to help them understand the concepts better Is it going to, get them a job quicker? Or are they going to gain something from that? And so, in the spirit of it's not about me, it's about you, what I would like to talk about is how you can learn from that. It also ties in with these live events. We've done a couple of these before. I know we did one like when we finished 75 Hard the one time. We did one, I can't remember. We've done 3 or 4 of these,
Mhm.
and they always feel a little bit weird. They're a little bit clunky. Like it doesn't seem to land all that well. This time I suggested, hey, it tends to be a little bit awkward when we're like sitting kind of adjacent to each other, and I say something, and I'm like, "Isn't that true, wifey?" So we're trying now where I can actually look at her and speak to her. So that's one move. But another move is we want to make these, if we're doing live events, these live events need to be valuable to the audience. Like, we're not the Kardashians, thank God. We're not some sort of celebrity to where people are just interested in our lives. I know we got a couple of super fans out there, but that's just not a thing. If we sit here and talk about, um, hey, the dogs are doing this, and we're fixing the back porch, and we got a pothole in the front yard, like, people aren't going to be interested in that. We're not celebrities, but we are people that can help people out with knowledge. And so, um, what we need to do with these live events, and what we need to do in the advertising and kind of attention gaining for these live events, is we need to advertise the value added. So this one's a little bit jumbled because it's both of us and we don't really have the same niche. Sue's book is about nothing that relates to data analytics and vice versa. So anyway, bit of a challenge. Ruby does like to put in her appearances on meetings and live streams and all sorts of fun stuff. But we want to be able to present value to the listener, to the watcher of these events. So with that being said, Data Career Academy, I want to present value to the learners for that event, for the e-course. That needs to be, it's not about me. And so just like how Sue presented her story in such a way that it's not about her, it's about what you can learn from her example, I need to do that too. And so I have certain things that have happened in my life, certain accomplishments and career pivots and whatnot, and you can learn stuff from those if I do a good job of presenting it to you as, here's what you can learn from, not look at me, I'm awesome. So that's my mandate and my mission going forward, is to make everything that I put out there valuable to the listener. Now this applies to content as well. So not just live events, but if you're doing kind of run-of-the-mill content, let's say you're putting out Facebook posts, or you're putting out like text posts on LinkedIn. One of the things that I get stuck in a rut with, and one of the reasons why content fails, is because you start trending towards making the content about yourself. And lovely wife, do you remember, I don't know if you were in this class, but do you remember when I said there's only 2 audiences for social media content? Okay. I clearly didn't do a good enough job of teaching that. Okay, so I taught my students at one point, and I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain here. There are only 2 audiences for social media content. The first audience is yourself. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of them on obviously Facebook and Instagram, but there's certainly plenty on LinkedIn too. They're posting for themselves. It's their content is kind of a, it's a look at me thing. It's a salve for their need for attention, and for people to tell them they're doing a great job, and how many little likes can I get on my personal update. That's what we need to get away from, because that doesn't add value to an audience. That forces the audience to go into your story, my story, and find the value. It forces them to do the work. What you want to do, if you want to be successful in educating people and informing people and in whatever, influencing people, is you want to do the hard work for them. I don't need my audience. I'm not writing War and Peace. I don't need my audience to go into my content and have to do hard work pulling out the value. I want to present the value to them. And what I find is when content fails because the author, the content creator, has done a very poor job of explaining to the audience what it is that they're going to get out of it. And they've made it about themselves. And as the theme says, it's not about you. So that's something that, going forward, doing content, all of that sort of thing. I'm using verbal crutches like crazy here. All of that sort of thing. We need to do a better job, or Sue, who's starting out with her content journey, needs to do a job, I guess, of explaining the value to the audience. What's the value of your book to the reader? What is the value of my course to prospective and upcoming data analysts? And what is the value of my book? What else are we talking about? Yeah, and then I think the last thing that we were going to talk about is teaching other people, like, where does this concept come up in your life? So if you are a prospective job prospect, anyway, we're hitting the Department of Redundancy department here. If you are a job prospect, if you are someone that's out there looking for a job, you need to present your value as well. And so this ties in nicely because it was a consistent theme throughout the course. All of my students now know all of job hunting is sales. It is all sales. In the job hunt, whether you are presenting your resume, whether you are networking, whether you are interviewing or negotiating a job offer, you are selling yourself. You're selling yourself as a commodity, as a set of skills and a personality fit for that employer. So what that means is you need to accept the fact that it's not about you, which is a little ironic and can be a bit difficult to accept when you're the commodity. It kind of feels like it's about you, right? When you're writing your resume, who's my resume about if not about me? It's about the job, and it's about the company and the hiring team that wants to hire you. And so your resume, ironically enough, not about you. It's about the value you can provide to that particular job. And so it needs to be oriented towards the job description. Your LinkedIn profile, once again, not about you. It is about the value you can provide. If you are looking for a job, it's about the value you provide to an employer. If you are running a business, it's about the value you can provide to your customers or clients. And when you get into that interview, same thing. The interview, hate to tell you, not about you. Again, it's about the value that you can provide to that employer. Now, if you think about it, most people don't really care about that many people. It's just a fact. When you think about the people that you legitimately care about as people, you got your spouse, you got your kids, you got your parents, maybe grandparents if they're still around kicking it, a couple of favorite cousins maybe, best friend. Beyond that, most people really don't care so much about anybody. We got, we're all praying for world peace, and we all care kind of in an abstract about others. Organizations in which you got skin in the game. I care about all Marines to a certain extent. But when you think about it, when you go in for a job interview, they don't care about you. They might care about you a little once they offer you the job, but at the time that you're talking to them, there's not a lot of investment there. So if you can accept during that journey that it's not about you, it's about the value you can provide, and then once you get in the door, maybe you got a chance to prove your kind of worth as an individual, But during that process, you're there to prove that you can do a job and that you can be a culture fit. That's it. Robin's disagreeing with me because she's Robin, and that's what she does. I always felt like it can't be about you. You just find people, place in the wrong places. Okay, I can be wrong from time to time. Robin's awesome. But yeah, so I get what Robin's saying. My point is, if you adopt the attitude that it's not about you, then your head's going to be in the right place as far as, how you communicate. So when they say, for instance, when an employer or a prospective employer brings you in for an interview and they say, tell me about yourself, they don't really want to hear about how much you love your dogs and your passion for road cycling and collecting stamps. They want to hear specifically about your experience that translates to the job they have to fill, your skill set that translates to the job, and then maybe something about your personality and your work habits that translate to you being a culture fit. The stuff about that is quintessentially you, like you in your off time, maybe save that for the end. If they ask about hobbies or something like that, then they're genuinely interested and maybe they're looking to hire you. But focus everything on your efforts on the value that you can provide. Yeah, Robin says, can you solve their problem? Absolutely. Thanks for holding up the Ask Us Anything portion here, Robin.
Good job, Robin.
Absolutely. So can you solve their problem? Precisely. So you're selling your ability to do that job for them. Okay. So now I have many other thoughts that don't really relate to this. I mean, I could probably talk all night about this concept. I've got a speech to write for Toastmasters. I see that look. I'm looking right at you. Okay. You can't hide. You're not behind me anymore, woman. Anyway, that's the whole point. She wants me to see the look. So I got a speech to write about this. That has nothing to do with y'all. Lots of other things. This relates to some business coaching, but the concept that we received in business coaching was you got to talk to people on their level. And so a lot of times when you're looking to solve somebody's problem, they may have a misconception about what the problem is that needs to be solved. You may go into a job interview and you know more technically than the people that are interviewing you. That happens all the time. You may think, hey, these people are asking the way wrong questions. But you've got to stow that. Dogs are playing with their toys up there. You've got to stow that, and you've got to talk to your audience on their level. And so if you are a technical person being interviewed by a non-technical person, probably part of the evaluation in that interview is, how well do you explain technical terms at a layperson level? And if you go off into highfalutin jargon that the HR person across the table from you can't understand, you probably aren't doing so hot in that interview. Now, that may be planned, it may be unplanned, but suffice to say, if you can't speak to a person on their level, you're going to be limited in your abilities in the tech industry, indeed in any industry. If Sue had written her book at a PhD level, it's probably not too many people are going to want to buy that. So it's a kind of core concept of selling yourself, selling a book, selling e-courses, selling anything, is speak to your audience where they live, at their level. So if you're dealing with someone that has a misconception, maybe that's not the time to point out their misconception. Maybe it's the time to figure out, hey, what is it that they really want? And sell yourself as the solution for that problem. Okay. Anything to add, lovely wife?
I just wanted to add that about the book. Now that I got the ebook out, and hopefully by the end of this week, the paperback will be released. I'm just waiting for the cover. I'm trying to go into something a little bit different. And I'm trying to launch a coaching service. And it would be for women over 40, although anyone that's struggling with their weight loss transformation, it's very open. And what I would like to do is open up, before I open up full-time coaching spots, I'd like to do a 5-day challenge for 5 women for free. We'll focus on mindset, realistic tools you can use to maintain your transformation, and just the support you'll get. Daily strategies that you can apply almost immediately. Private support space with sessions with me, and even small group encouragement. I'd hope to get this going within the next several weeks. So if any woman is interested, please feel free to message me, or some of you guys know me locally. You can text me. Yeah, I know you have my cell phone number. But either way, I will take 5 women who are really interested and serious about your weight loss journey, and we would do a 5-day challenge together.
Love it. Yeah, so why don't you tell the people, so I'm not sure, I just checked Facebook and I'm not sure our sound is coming through, but hey, they can see our screen.
No,
so
I heard you.
Sound is good?
Your Facebook page, yes.
Oh, great success. Hey, well, baby steps, people. However, the LinkedIn audience and the YouTube audience may not be as familiar with you if we have.
Well, I'll post links.
Okay.
Contact information. I'll post a link to my book if anyone's interested in reading it. I can post them all on the LinkedIn and Facebook.
Awesome. Absolutely. Okay. I think that's all I had to talk about. Any save rounds? Gripes, complaints? I won't say the other words we used to say in the Marine Corps. But...
No, I think your dog's anxiously waiting for what. The
she wants
W.
a walk. Yeah, the walk. Okay. Well, we'll cut it. Hey, Ruby, what's up? So we'll cut out of here in time for everybody to go. If you're interested in watching Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Robin's giving approval for the dogs. Everybody, look up Robin. She is firing TikToks like crazy. So look up Robin Hunt on TikTok. I dipped my toe in the TikTok waters and then pulled it back out rather quickly. So we'll see about that maybe further on down the road. But anyway, yeah, it's just too much. So you gotta master a couple of social media platforms at a time, and then once we hit the big time, we hire a VA. We can have somebody do our video editing, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I need a lot of work on my communication.
Nah, you're good. Doing great. Okay. Yeah. So if anybody's got, anybody can throw comments on this. Obviously, this will live forever in the YouTube sphere. LinkedIn, who knows? I mean, they seem to disappear after a while. I've been scared of it. Most of Robin's content is not highly analytics focused on TikTok. It's like funny stuff of her like mucking about in her backyard and stuff. So it's pretty funny to watch. But anyway, yeah, testing, cool. Data Talk is it's a different animal. I think I follow a couple of people on there, and I probably jump on there like once a month to see I have 100 funny videos from my kids. But yeah, we'll get there someday. Trying to master LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. I think that's plenty for right now. All right, see you, Robin. Everybody else, see you later. If you have hanger-on questions, please just drop them in the comments. We will monitor this going forward. Happy to answer any further questions. All right, with that, Semper Fidelis. We will talk to you later.